So firstly, tell us a bit about FEIG Electronic and what you're up to at InnoTrans this year.
Great. Well, thanks for having me. FEIG Electronic is a manufacturer for unattended payment terminals. So basically, for the last 5 years, we started serving companies, integrators, manufacturers in the vending business, public transportation, parking, and e-charging stations. We develop several level 2 kernels. Okay, so we have the usual suspects, of course, that I don't really have to name because everybody knows them. But on top of that, we also have a full terminal application for Germany for Girocard and the new Girocard contactless scheme. And also we've developed a level 2 kernel for India, so called RuPay. And that again shows how internationally scalable our products are, and where we actually are looking for a business to sell to with our components.
Sure. Transport ticketing has changed a lot in recent years. How do you see it developing further?
So transport ticketing, I think, has in a way, or is changing, of course, in a more, going into a more digital way, of course, when it comes to the whole ticketing process, etc. For us, as an unattended payment terminal manufacturer, of course, what's important is to get people away from cash. And we all know, of course, that Germany is still very cash prone. But I think also, especially in Germany, with the Girocard contactless scheme that has been introduced as a project this year and will hopefully be fully specified next year. We're seeing that, of course, many of the locals, which are the main customers for public transportation, are basically turning their backs on cash and fully accepting the switch to contactless payments or cashless payments.
So what part does FEIG have to play in this?
So the part we play is, first of all, looking at innovation, looking at the next step in the evolution of a product. So coming from the closed loop sector, we opened up the terminals, and now we have closed and open loop acceptance in one product, offering it therefore to basically any sort of project that has a need for the two environments, and of course to live in parallel. On the other hand, what we do is we basically help our customers along the whole value chain. So basically we pick them up at the beginning and we basically consult with them all the way through to their finished and final product, okay, where we are then integrated in. So basically it's not just selling the hardware and making sure that we basically have top of the line technology, but also making sure that it gets integrated in the right way, that we help customers find the right payment processing partner, etc. So everything that basically makes our product so much better and so much smoother and more seamless to integrate along the whole value chain process. And I think that's a very important part, and that's the one we like to play.
How important is it for end users to feel safe using ticketing technology, and how do you ensure their safety?
So I mentioned, of course, people in Germany being very cash prone. So I think in general, when you look at the demographics, we're talking, of course, about the millennials, people, of course, using mobile payment or in general mobile apps, wallets, etc. for payment, ticketing, for any sort of transaction nowadays. And I think just looking at basically my mother, for example, I think it's a certain step for her to basically go the digital way, starting with, of course, an NFC contactless payment. So it's something where I think we need a lot of consumer education. Okay, so there needs to be the right consumer education. People need to be addressed specifically about the new opportunities and possibilities. On the other hand, of course, what's important for us, again, as the payment acceptance terminal manufacturer is, of course, to abide by the highest security levels. Okay, we're talking EMV-CO levels, we're talking PCI, in general PTS, etc. Certifications that we always keep up to date. Okay, and by offering state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line technology that is fully certified at all levels. I think we're doing our part in making sure that the transactions are safe for our customers.
So what's the next big disruption in transport, and what part does FEIG Electronic have to play?
So I think that's something you should be asking me after the show. I think especially InnoTrans, a show that we've, I think, have attended for this, or are attending now for the second time. Okay, with our own booth and showcasing our products. I think from experience, I can say it's usually something you can answer after the show, because I think there's so much feedback that we receive from, be it competitors, be it of course our existing customers, and of course being feedback coming as input from just guests at our booth that are asking all the right questions and thereby helping us moving the innovation train along. Just factoring in all of their inquiries, questions, which then brings us basically to the next step, or the next product evolutional step, if you want to call it that, to see, okay, where are we heading? So it's always something that, especially InnoTrans, is very good for, to basically pick up what's new, what's next, what's coming, and that's of course what we're looking for. So ask us again in a couple of days, and then I'll tell you more.